I just got off a strategy session for an artist releasing a new song, and here's 10 things an artist should never do. And the first one is stay away from botted playlists. You might get an email from some promotion company saying, wow, your music sounds awesome. You should be bigger than you are. Why don't you have more monthly listeners? And they really tickle your ears and make you feel good. And hey, if you just pay us this amount of money, we'll add you to this playlist and you'll get thousands and thousands of streams, right? And so one of these artists that I coached with, and this happens all the time, I'm like, send me the link to that Spotify playlist. I quickly put it into Submit Hub's playlist checker, and next thing you know, payola, botted playlist, right? And these are the things you want to steer clear of. I know it seems so good and such an opportunity, but sometimes it's too good to be true. And you don't want to just be on any playlist. I was sharing in my Spotify 5-day challenge yesterday, I said, imagine you're like a nu metal artist, or you're a folk artist, right? Or just some genre of artist, right? And there's this band playing, and they're a classical band or classical artist playing on beautiful piano. It's very quiet, kind of like, tuxedo event. And now you as the nu metal artist or heavy rock artist are going to come up and now perform behind them when like they're the headliner and that's the vibe of the show, and all of a sudden this nu metal artist starts playing and starts rocking out and screaming. You're not going to fit in, and probably the response from the audience is not going to be very good, right? Well, this is the same thing with playlists. We don't want to just be on any playlist. We want to be on the right playlist and with the other artists that you're similar to and that you want to be around, so that when the algorithm is, listening to all the data and looking at the data of who you're being played with, it's going to be like, oh, wow. And they're going to associate you and now share you out to like and similar artists like that. So stay away from botted playlists. Number 2 is don't spam people with your link, okay? It's an absolute waste of time, number 1. And number 2, it's like a cold sales pitch, all right? Imagine you walk into a coffee shop and there's this beautiful girl there and you want to go and introduce yourself. And you go right up and try to talk with her. You're probably going to get a cold, get away from me, right? As opposed to if you say, oh, there's her friend. She works there, and you talk up her friend and you get her to introduce you, okay? And now you've got an introduction to their fans. Well, instead of you just spamming people and burning bridges, thinking you're building buzz, you want to build relationships and do collaborations with other artists, okay? And get introduced to their fans. Instead of spamming your link below my video or somebody else's video when nobody cares, as opposed to building a relationship and then I shout you out or we do a song together. And this is where you need to make a list of the artists and producers you want to work with and start to build relationships, and so they can give you an awesome introduction to their fans, right? Because, when you release a song out there just by yourself, that's isolation. And what we want is collaboration. Otherwise, you're going to stay invisible, which really leads me to number 3 is before you release the song, is there someone you can collaborate? Can you get a feature on that song so you're not promoting the song alone? Because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of, stress and a lot of, courage that it takes to put your song out there. Is there someone you can get on this song so you're both promoting it together? I just got a TV film placement with the Florida Panthers, the hockey team, for my song Born to Be a Legend. Well, there's a producer that I worked with on it, and he's got a Spotify profile, and there's also a female artist singing on the song. And so when I posted the song, sharing the video that our song got on in the Panthers promo video, I tagged them. I also tagged the sync company. I also tagged Florida Panthers because they're probably going to reshare that now, because it's a team effort. If I had just done the song alone, I wouldn't be tagging anybody. So what's really cool is that not only did I do the feature with the song, and when we released it, we all posted about it, we all promoted about it, but now we're continuing to still promote that song together. Number 4 is you don't want to skip the pre-release hype and doing pre-saves, okay? You want to have some buildup. You want to have some excitement. You can tease the song out there kind of like a movie trailer. Right now, we're running ads as a pre-save campaign to my new song. It's actually an EP, but I'm promoting the one song because EPs don't promote EPs. Albums don't promote albums. It's songs that promote EPs or a song that promotes the album. So I had to decide on all the songs that are coming out, and 4 of the songs are actually already out, and it's this 5th new one. So I've decided to choose the new one, and I'm running ads and doing a pre-save campaign. And not only am I getting the pre-saves on Spotify and Apple Music, where if somebody decides to pre-save it, the day that song comes out, like literally at midnight, it will show up on their library. And because I'm actually doing this with the Hyped It, and we're getting the email as well too, and Hyped It is a software that I use. You got to watch this other video where I interviewed John Gold, where it integrates with meta ads, so that not only we get the pre-save, but we get the email. And now when the song drops, it'll show up in the Spotify library, but they'll also get an email about it. So we're kind of hitting them both times. And guess what? I'll have their email too. So maybe I'll remind them later on in the day, or maybe I'll remind them the next day, hey, have you heard this? Do you know the song's out? Because just because it's in the library, just because they got one email, and just because I posted about it on social media, doesn't mean that I don't follow up again. Doesn't mean that I don't post again. But this is the thing too. I'm giving away the song for free early so that I get even more pre-saves. Because just getting the pre-save alone, people don't really want to do that. But when you incentivize them, say, hey, you can get it early, well, then that gives them more incentivization to want to pre-save. And then my cost per pre-save goes down. So let's just say if I wasn't giving them the song earlier, it might cost me $1 per pre-save. But because now I'm giving them the song early as well, it might only cost me 50 cents. Or what if I give them a few songs? Or I also give them a few songs plus the chance to win a merch bundle. Now all of a sudden my cost per pre-save, and now I'm going to have way more pre-saves. So the question you might be asking, well, how many pre-saves do you really need? Well, you want as many as you can get, obviously, whatever your budget can handle. But let's just say that it costs you $1 per pre-save, just for round numbers, all right? And you want to spend $400 and you get 400 pre-saves, right? That's hundreds of pre-saves, definitely the better, especially if you're not getting hundreds of streams day one normally. If you got hundreds of pre-saves, what do you think your chances are on getting hundreds of streams the day the song comes out now? And what if, let's just say, your first ad, it was costing you $1 per pre-save, but you tested more ads and you were able to cut that budget in half, and maybe it was only 50 cents, but you still kept your budget at 400 and now you had 800 pre-saves. Or what if you worked with me and my team and you came to a Spotify challenge, or you joined my inner circle and we helped you to get that down to 30 or 20 cents or even lower. And then that same $400 budget, now you're getting thousands of pre-saves. Do you think you can hit thousands of streams now on day one and have your biggest song release you've ever had? I think you can. Number 5 is don't ignore short form content. And this is, again, ties into the whole pre-save vibe, is that, look, when we're running these pre-saves, we're running ads to it. We're running meta ads, Facebook and Instagram ads, right? And we're trying to figure out the best ad. Well, of course, we're using content and we're testing stuff. Well, basically what we're doing by doing that is I'm recording all this content ahead of time and I'm testing the content. Well, now, based on what content has worked really good in ads, I can now take that and use that for when the day the song drops, I could be posting all the best ones first. Like, let's just say I tested like 8 ads and 4 of them crushed it, right? Maybe 2 of them actually really crushed it, but I had my top 4 out of the 8, right? And testing 8 ads is not a lot, okay? I just want to be straight here. Testing 8 ads, that's normal. That's like minimum, all right? But now I can take out of the best 8, the top 4, those can be my first social media posts for when the song goes live, all right? You don't want to ignore TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, X, right? You want to be everywhere on these platforms, and you want to keep posting, all right? Which leads me to number 6, is maybe you have a really strong pre-save, okay, like pre-launch. Maybe you have a really strong day, but where a lot of artists fall off is they don't keep promoting, okay? They stop after the release day and they take their foot off the gas. Well, with the Presave campaign, normally what we do after we've done the Presave campaign, we turn that into a playlist promotion campaign. So now we'll reload the ads that were working the best, because now we got the best ones, and we'll take that new song that's out and we'll put it at the top of one of our playlists. And now I'll continue to run ads to that playlist to keep the momentum going. So now I got all these pre-saves, I've posted on social media, and now I'm topping it up with doing some ads, right? And we just freaking crush it, and we just punch that algorithm in the face, and then hopefully Spotify, and if the song is good, because remember what Mr. Beast always says, it's not that the algorithm didn't like that video, it's the audience that didn't like that video, or for us, it's the song. And so how does Spotify know if it's a good song or if fans like the song? Well, if they're listening to the whole thing. If they're not, they're skipping it, and you get a high skip rate. If they're saving it, that's a good sign. If they're adding it to a playlist, if they're sharing it, if they're listening to it again and again, and there's the repeat listeners, these are all signs that Spotify's like, yo, this is good. We're going to share this out even more. Number 6 is, don't promote on platforms you don't understand. Like if you're small on all across all the platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, etc., just choose one and go all in on it. Like, don't feel like you have to post on all of them. It's better to go deep into one and really understand that. Don't feel like you have to run ads across all of them. I just run ads mostly on Meta and sometimes TikTok. If we have a music video, we'll do YouTube. But it's so much better for you to focus and flood your budget in one area. I was telling one of my coaching students the other day, I said, look, turn off the YouTube, turn off everything. Let's focus on Meta. Okay, you need to master this platform, and we can easily get you to 10, 100,000 monthly listeners. I think this artist actually has about 30,000 right now. We can scale that up if you would just focus. Stop splitting your budget in all these places, and let's focus it on one platform. That's what I encourage you to do, as opposed to stressing out, feeling like you have to post everywhere. Sure, once you get into the rhythm of it, and you got a team or whatnot, and they're helping you with the content and the posting, sure, but in the meantime, focus on one platform, okay? Number 7 is when you're posting on social media, right? Sometimes you'll be tempted to want to boost the post. And I get it. You want to boost the post. If you're going to boost a post, boost the winners. But I would so much rather see you throw money at ads that are working and that have a conversion, okay? And we run conversion ads, meaning we track if someone's actually not just clicked on the ad, but clicked through and clicked on play on the song, on the playlist. We track that because there's so many bots that can just click on the ad, but they didn't actually click and press play, all right? And when you boost a post, you don't have access to conversion ads. You don't have access to as much analytics and as much control with your targeting. So I'd much rather you run actual ads inside of Meta. Number 8, and this is a big one, and I teach this on my Spotify 5-day challenge. I hope you can come. This is what you want to say when the song is released. You don't want to say, my new song is out. This new song just dropped. Check out our new single. That's like white noise. That's like how to get ignored 101, okay? What you want to say is, my heart was broken, and this is why I wrote this song. I struggled with depression and went through a dark time. My girlfriend dumped me. This happened. I was at a Beatles concert one time, or I was here at some place. You tell a story, and that's why we wrote this song. That's the heart behind the song. Don't tell me just the singles dropped. Give me some perspective. Give me the storyline. I look at songs like onions, and they got all these layers, okay? For most of us, we're just like, here it is. Eat it just the way it is, as opposed to sharing the story. Like if you watched a chef cook and how something is made, and then when you go to eat that, you're going to appreciate it so much, as opposed to it just being thrown at you. It's like same thing with our songs, right? We want to build relationship and bond. You want to have super fans, you want to have hardcore fans, well, allow them into your story more so they can care, especially if you're a new artist and you're just trying to build a fan base. You've got to stop just throwing it out there and start to tell more stories. Have you heard this quote? Stories sell, facts tell. Okay? So we want to tell more stories because that will engage people a lot more. Number 9, don't chase every playlist curator or social influencer, okay? So one of the things that you can do for when the song drops or leading up to it is you can submit your song to different curators on Submit Hub, where you get to really cherry pick, which I like. I don't just pitch to any playlist, okay? I went broad at the beginning, and then I learned, okay, this rock song that I have, it's rock, and this is a rock playlist, but it's more classic rock. Or theirs is more like screamo or like, 70s rock. Well, my song is nu metal. And so I started to get turned down, and I realized, well, heck, I'm also a curator. And I'm like, yeah, when people submit me songs, it's like, that's a cool song, guys, but it's too alternative, or it's got too much screaming on it. So it's not the right fit. And so you don't want to be chasing every playlist curator. You're just going to waste money, and you're just going to get frustrated and be like, oh, this doesn't work. As opposed to when you're looking at these different playlists, play the songs and say, yo, is this really a good fit? Like, is this really the right fit, or am I stretching here? And sometimes it's okay to stretch a little bit, but it's the same thing like I shared earlier, where you don't want to be on a playlist where it's not the right market fit. You want to be on a playlist where it's like, boom, like this makes sense. Yeah, these artists go together. All right. And this is the same thing with social influencers. And again, you can hire social influencers on Submit Hub. And again, it's very easy to just shotgun it, just give them your song and submit it to all these people. But why not be more strategic? Would your song fit more with fashion brands? Would it fit more with extreme sports? Like, you want it to be a really good fit. And I cover this more in my book, Playlist Profits. Download this book, get all the bonuses on how to build a playlist and promote your songs, so that you're not the one begging to get on the playlist and stuff, but you're in control and you're promoting your own playlist and you're getting paid. I'll put the link below so that you can get that. But seriously, when it comes to the social influencers, we had people just use the song and it wasn't a great market fit. Sure, could have gotten hundreds of streams or millions of streams or thousands. Sometimes we'll get like literally millions of views on a post that someone had our song, but the song was just in the background. They didn't use it properly. And you can literally specifically with social media or with social influencers tell them how you want them to use the song, what part of the song you want them to use. The last one I want to tell you today, number 10, is don't give up, okay? Don't give up. There's a story of an artist where he posted about his song 34 times. And he started to get some hate on the comments. Someone was like, yo, bro, it's a cool song and all, but you've posted this thing like 34 times. It was on the 35th time that he had the courage to post it one more time, even though Johnny465 that lives in his mom's basement was starting to hate on him, and then that post freaking went viral and helped blow up the song. You are closer to success than you think. And what I tell my students all the time is that if you're not getting hate every day, then you're not marketing hard enough. Okay? Success equals haters. All right? You haven't broken through yet. All right? Because not everybody is going to like your music, and that is okay. We're not trying to market to everybody. If you're trying to market to everybody, you're marketing to no one. It's okay to be specific and strategic. It's okay to specify in one country or one niche. And I know you like to make lots of genres of music, some of you, but if you would just focus on one genre and long enough and stay on this thing long enough, you will see success. But a lot of you plant all these seeds, and you plant a seed over here, and you plant a seed over here, but then you never water it. You never give it enough sunlight. You never give it enough time. And you know what you do? You get frustrated, and with your words and with your actions, you rip up your seeds. Okay, you rip up the seeds, and then you go and plant them somewhere else, and then you start from scratch again. This really leads to what I was talking about earlier about focusing on one platform, focusing on one genre, focusing on ads long enough instead of splitting your budget all over the place. Focus on one thing and get that to work. Out of all the strategies I even shared with social influencers, playlists, promotion, ads, right, organic content, if you would just focus on one of them and master that and say, okay, I know out of this budget, this is how much streams I'm getting back. I know the ROI in this. But not when I say master it, I mean, can you get the clicks cheap enough? Can you get the leads cheap enough so that that's the best, most optimized, ad and song? And figuring out even what song it is, but being willing to test enough content and be leaned in on this long enough until it works. Because a lot of you try it and you kind of dip your little pinky toe in it, but you're not all in. And it's time for you to go all in, because now is your time, and now stands for no opportunity wasted.